Hello everyone, I'm DonTheCrown, and today I want to talk to you about something that gave me a lot of trouble when I first started playing Lost Ark in the Russian region, and then I eventually ended up making a lot of money from this, and that is estate crafting. Now if you're not familiar, basically as you go through the main storyline, you'll be granted a estate by King Thyrain, where you can run around, do stuff. There's research, there's crafting, there's training your alts, there's even a little mini island that you can gather stuff in. But you do need to level up this estate, and there is crafting, like I said before. Something to note with the crafting system is that it has a time component, it has an energy component, and you need resources in to get stuff out. So you can see here, Awakening Potion, there's a whole bunch of resources that are required for this. There's energy that's required, there's a manufacturing fee, and you can just see all the stuff there. This grants experience, which is pretty nice. But it's kind of difficult to know, like, what exactly should I be crafting? What is good here? It's kind of hard to know, like, is crafting an Awakening Potion worth it for me? Like, is this going to be costing me money, or am I going to be making money? And when I first started playing, a lot of people gave me advice to just spam craft the blue healing potions. You'll make money, don't worry about it. And I kind of found myself not making any money. And so I did what any Path of Exile player would do in this type of situation, and I just made a giant spreadsheet of all the information. And basically what this does is I can fill it in with the cost of all of the materials, and then fill in all of the values of the different things I can craft, and then it tells me right away what the best things are for me to craft. Easy peasy, and I don't need to do any complicated math. And if you're like super spreadsheet adverse and you're like don't really want to try hard, sweaty, try to make money with the estate, totally don't have to worry about this. You don't need to use this tool. But if you do want to make money with the estate, this tool will be available in the description below. And yeah, I'm just going to go over it real quick. So as I mentioned, basically we're going to be filling in column B here, which is the cost of materials. And basically to find these, all you have to do is open up the auction house, click on whatever the life skills tab is going to be. It's probably something different in the Western version. Go to herbalism and start filling in the values. Now there's no API to automatically populate this for you, which is kind of suck, but actually really good, because since there's no API, that means there's not going to be any sort of automated tool for this. And that means that if you're using something that makes your life a lot easier, you'll be able to make a lot more profit margin compared to the people who aren't using this tool. And yeah, so you just go through, fill all this stuff in, then you go to combat goods. You notice that there's 4 different sections: recovery, offense, utility, and buff. And I've broken them down into recovery, buff, offense, and utility. And basically all you have to do is just fill in the stuff, and it tells you exactly what to craft. Now you do have to use your brain just a little bit for 2 things. So sometimes people will put up stuff at an odd price for whatever reason. Maybe they're drastically trying to undercut. Maybe they don't care about the market. Maybe they don't really care about money. And you'll see that, like, hey, the amount remaining is 1, and the lowest price here is 6 gold, but the recent price is 9. So we look, all right, so there's only 1 up at 6, 2 up at 7, but then there's 2,000 up at 9. So maybe the cost is really closer here for the blue flowers, closer to 9 than it is to 7. And if you wanted to, like, maybe try to like make a little bit of a flip there on that 6, you could potentially make some money. But note that you do have a fee whenever you sell stuff as well, so it'd be a little bit more difficult than that. I've seen sometimes where people will have things like these white flowers up for 20 gold cheaper than the rest of the market, and I just snatched them all up. And so I've made a lot of money even just from realizing that somebody's messing up in the market, maybe either mispriced something or is just really desperate to get something sold. And so that's little tiny things there. Also, you have to realize that some things are just not going to sell at the same rate as other things. So if you look here, splendid items are basically the big version of an item. So a splendid stealth robe is basically just a big stealth robe that lasts longer, has a little bit better effects. But these splendid items don't really sell all that well. Like, they will sell occasionally, but they won't sell as fast as like a regular healing potion or something. So you kind of have to use your brain a little bit about, like, okay, Like, is this something that seems like it's probably going to be moving a lot? That might take a little bit of experience, and it might also change with what raids and fights are available. I know when Abershroud became available, the swiftness capes went from being like barely moving to moving out the door so fast that I've been making tons and tons and tons of gold off of them every single week. And so, like, for example, here in our top crafts list, stuff like pheromone bombs kind of sell maybe like a medium pace, but like awakening potions are a pretty safe bet. Dark grenades are pretty popular as well for increasing the amount of damage that your group does. Panacea, also pretty popular. Whirlwind grenades, pretty solid as well. And then these other things like clay grenade and time stop potion, also probably pretty decent as well. But I generally would avoid doing the stuff that's like the splendid or the big, and especially you have to figure out what the market's going to be like on the Western servers. Now, every single time you do craft something, this is going to pop up here, and you'll be able to like take all of the stuff. You gain experience for your estate, and sometimes you get lucky and a perfect result will happen. And what that means is, for example, I'm crafting Cape of Swiftness. These come in lots of 3 when you craft them. If I got a perfect result, I'd actually get 6 as opposed to just 3. And so you basically just have a double chance on one of your crafts. And so you do have to go in here and like adjust what your craft speed and energy savings and cost reduction is as you level up your estate. Like maybe you have something that is giving you like an extra 5% perfection. That will adjust some of your profit rates. And with enough of some of these stats, it actually makes a big difference. And for example, cost reduction is really, really huge to at least get 1% of, and you get all this from the laboratory. But if you notice here that crafting a Cape of Swiftness takes 14 gold, well, realistically, this actually costs 15 gold, but 1% reduction of that fee is rounded up to be 1 gold, and so you save a whole 1 gold from that. And then the things that are like bigger costs, so for example, like Arctis crystals cost a lot of gold to make, and that 2% or that 4% here that I have right now is massively reduced for those particular types of things. And then as you level up your estate, you unlock additional things in your laboratory to either research, to either make your whole estate better, or you unlock different features. As I mentioned before, there's a section where you can gather on your estate, and this is something that either just you or just the people that you designate can gather. But all of these resources can only be used to craft items that are basically bound to your character. And so if you're not really looking to like go out into the world and like compete with other people to gather stuff, especially if you're like a super pop server where things are going to be pretty crazy, this can be a good, really chill way to gather materials every day. This all resets once a day, and then you just go into the workshop, you go to chests, and there's a whole bunch of things in these craft boxes where you basically get to pick one thing out of them, and it's bound to you. And so that is pretty strong. Now, things to note with using this spreadsheet is that if you try to edit anywhere on the sheet where it doesn't work, you're going to get a warning. So like, for example, here, just hit cancel. It'll give you a little heads up. Really, the only things you should be editing are column B down to the gray part, and then column L for the market price, and then any of your estate stats. These things down here in the gray part are basically things that are getting pulled from the market price. It's just like to make a big campfire or splendid campfire, you need 3 campfires to make 2 splendid campfires. So that's why the value is over here, but you don't need to edit this part. To make your own copy of this tool, all you have to do is click File, make a copy, and you should have one that's just for you. You can edit it. And just a friendly reminder, like if you don't want to do this all by yourself, you can always share one sheet with all your friends who are in the same guild or the same server. The auction houses are all going to be the same for the entire region. So everybody that's on NA East with me is going to have basically the exact same market to play around with. And so that's a pretty big market. And the prices are going to be pretty crazy. And there'll be a lot of ways to make money right off the bat. And maybe some things that we try to craft are going to end up not being all that great. But with this tool, hopefully you'll be able to make some smarter decisions. If you have any questions about how to use the tool, I've left a little bit of a mini tutorial here in the middle, or you can just come by the stream at twitch.tv/DonTheCrown. Thank you very much, guys. I really do appreciate it. Hope you guys have a wonderful time playing Lost Ark and have a much more profitable time than I did when I first started off. Have a good one.